Hi, I'm Dave, founder of Halloween Year Round, and in case you're wondering, hey Dave from Halloween Year Round, why are you wearing a shirt that says Dad and has Stitch on it? Is that a leftover from your recent Disney trip? Is that a shirt your wife got for you specifically to wear at Magic Kingdom? Is it the shirt you were wearing when you met Stitch at Magic Kingdom? The answer to all of those questions is yes. The answer to why am I wearing it now is because I'm reviewing another vacation horror movie, Getaway, written by and starring Nick Frost. This is the kind of third installment in his trifecta that is Nick Frost's 2024 year of horror movies. This year alone, he's done Crazy House, he's done Black Cab, which is streaming on Shudder, and now he's done Getaway, which is in limited release right now, should be on VOD hopefully soon. I'm going to say spoiler-free at first. At a certain point, I kind of have to get into spoilers to really talk about it. But let's get into Getaway.
The English must be offered up.
Ever since we came to Svalto, we have felt nothing but unwelcome.
Our debt must be paid.
Welcome to Svalta. They are mostly harmless.
So we have Nick Frost and family on their, family getaway. British family traveling to Sweden for this weird, quarantine celebration. I say celebration. It's like a historical performance art thing based on a tragedy of an outbreak that happened on this Swedish island all these years ago that his wife's family was part of. Basically, okay, it's Wicker Man. But it's like a comedic version of Wicker Man, which I didn't know was something you could do or something that could work. And it kind of works here. It has all, the Harbinger. It has, the creepy, locals that don't want them there. It has Nick Frost just being Nick Frost. He's kind of, ever since Shaun of the Dead, he plays a type, he plays it well, and I think it works here. He wrote the movie, and I love just it has the setup of a classic, fish out of water, foreigners come to foreign land and, there's a creepy secret here, but with a comedic twist that I think works to break the tension at times and points out some of the inherent, not silliness, but when you have, in the horror genre, it's part of the reason why I think Scream works so well. When you have tropes being done over and over again, they get to the point that they start to become kind of funny, and they become kind of funny because we've seen it done so many times, and I think that this movie does a good job of having its characters be the audience surrogate, kind of poking fun at and laughing at the tropes as they're on this family getaway. So, you kind of know what you're getting coming in, that, his wife's connected to the island, we've seen Wicker Man, we've seen Midsommar, we know where this is going, we know they're going to try to kill them, we know that the dirty look that the locals give them the second their boat lands on the island, they're as good as dead. But, and this is where I'm going to get into spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie, go watch and come back here. You better come back. Everybody here okay with being spoiled?
This is your last chance.
Everybody back now who wanted to go see the movie first before getting it spoiled? Okay, cool. So, in a weird twist, and an early twist, because it occurs really at the end of the second act going into the third act, the creepy, B&B owner who was renting them their house gives them cookies. Of course we know they're poisoned. They were always going to be poisoned. And the family kind of flips it on them and starts killing everyone. And you learn, it's the vacationing family that are the homicidal maniacs. And even though the locals were planning on killing them anyway, they're now going to kill them. And it just, number one, it's an absurdist twist on a horror trope, which I love anything different. And yes, it's a movie. It knows what it is. Not everything, It's not a movie that's trying to take itself too seriously or play too seriously with the rules of logic, which I'll get to. But it's just fun because it gets to the point that, there really isn't, a good guy or a victim anymore. They're all kind of just evil and homicidal, and you're okay watching all of them just kill each other in fun, gruesome ways that's, entertaining and hilarious. That being said, my issue with the twist is earlier in the movie, we saw the family unobserved from anyone else, acting like a frightened family. Now, the only explanation I could think of is that they assumed the person they were renting from was watching them, probably had cameras there, and they were playing the part. But it goes back to an issue I have when you reveal that your protagonist is actually the villain or, was actually behind it all along. You have to retroactively go back and look at scenes they were in alone, and did they continue to play their part while they were alone? It's sort of like, why does Batman have to use his Batman voice when he's by himself? Or with someone who already knows his identity? And this movie, I think, kind of gets around it because you could chalk it up to they assumed the guy was watching. That was my only real criticism of that. Other than that, it's just a fun, bizarre movie, and most of the time, I've seen enough horror movies that I can see the twist coming from a mile away. This one, I really didn't because it was so far out of left field, and I think because the movie was so lighthearted and fun and darkly hilarious, I was more willing to accept a twist completely out of left field. And, like their son dies, and they're just like, whatever. Gotta get another son. It reminded me, for those fellow 90s kids, you remember the show Dinosaurs? Where they had that, educational science show, and the scientist assistant was Timmy, and he would always get, destroyed or dismembered by the experiment, and he'd be like, we're gonna need another Timmy.
Pour it into the blender there while I get behind this lead shield.
Okay. Say it!
We're gonna need another Timmy!
Yeah!
It had that same vibe, only instead of a hilarious kid show, this was an R-rated horror movie. So, definitely check out Getaway if you're looking for not a typical vacation horror movie, but the anti-vacation horror movie. I had a lot of fun with it, and if that's something you're into, if you're a fan of Nick Frost, if you're a fan of anything he's done before, like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, anything, Cornetto, or anything other than that, or his other horror movies from earlier this year, Getaway. It's not your typical vacation horror. But hey, these are just my thoughts. This is just my rant. This is just my review. I would love to know what you thought of it. Let me know in the comments. Have you seen Getaway? What did you think of it? Like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. If you don't, you may end up on a creepy Swedish island where the locals are trying to kill you, but actually you wind up trying to kill them, and, everyone dies. And as always, every day is Halloween.